Boom, welcome back, everybody. Another Tuesday night. Chat with the Muskrat, Mr. Bobcat. Man, it feels like it's been forever, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute.
Been a minute. Between
busy.
It has been a crazy few weeks. That is for sure. Let me see here. I forgot to set up the customization on my chat.
I did that. You didn't do that. I did.
Yeah, I just did it to mine to keep the riffraff out of here.
Some riffraffs out of the house.
That's it.
Oh, hello. Get a few people in here now. Hey, y'all share this out, please. Let's do it.
Let's.
We got important stuff to talk about tonight.
Fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks like at least one of us is catching fish.
I did last night. It was good.
I
had a good evening.
I thought about trying to go back out tonight like I did last week and try to redeem myself. We got skunked. I don't do that too often. I try not to make a habit out of it, but it was no bueno for the catfish last weekend. We had a couple other people, a few other friends of ours out on the river, on the Ohio River, up and down it last Tuesday night, and nobody caught a fish.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I talked to J-Dog, and I was like, man, did you guys even catch anything? And he said, we never even got a bite. I was like, man.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, we fished till like 11 or 12, and we was like, this is terrible. And we just packed up and went home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Brandon and I fished Friday night for probably 5 hours, and we caught one 13-pound blue catfish. But there was a front moving in. That's when that cold front kind of sneaked in. I don't know if I had them turned off or what, but
it could be completely. If you time it just right, you catch those fronts coming in, man. They could turn on, and they could be really
probably
good.
A good answer right there. 3 days of barometric pressure change, high barometric pressure. That does affect them.
Yes, it does.
Well, let's say hi to some people, Roger.
Let's do it. Who you see?
All right, let's roll this beautiful beam footage. Fishing with Jeff Bill in the house, Mr. Rustic, Miss V. Smith in the house, Dave Garcher, Greenwell Fishing, H. Lee Osborne. We got Brandon from Catfish and Dreams. Catch Fish with us in the house, Mr. Kevin Walters, Fish North Ohio says good evening, y'all. White Man Curtis in the house. Got Miss Lisa Napkin Lady Swain in the house. So we got else in there.
Kevin Walters, man, those guys did catch some good fish this weekend.
That's right. Smoky Mountain catfishing in the house too. Mr. Warpig in the house.
Yeah, he caught a lot of
big
fish this weekend, and he caught a bunch of moon eye. I need to holler at him about where he scored all these moon eye at, because that's the hot bait to have right now, at least in Ohio.
There you go. We got Buggy in the house. Who else? Terry Stanfield, Mr. Gimpy. He says, no wonder I caught squat yesterday.
No matter what.
Osborne says, hello, everyone. He said, no wonder I caught squat yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, Stonefly says, hello, Roger, Bobcat. I think we're at the bottom already. Man, that was quick.
Well, we've been getting inconsistent, so people are not sure if we're here or we ain't here.
Yeah, it's like absentee ballot here.
Actually, I think Stonefly said that he was going to Racine over the weekend. I didn't see any pictures, so I don't know if he made it or didn't do any good.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Racine on Friday, it says catch fish with us. Moon eye at the dam if you got tiny minnows.
Tiny minnows. Mike says, Bobcat the creek, I eat fish the past few weeks, so that'll turn them off.
Yeah, it'll our river. Let me see if I show here real quick. The river here has been just insane. Yeah, it's up and down constantly. You can't hardly put a pattern on them because there is no pattern.
Hey, Greenwell's got you covered. He said, I'll send you a picture of what those moon eye are hitting on.
I'll send you a picture of what those moon eye are hitting on. There you go. I got to be honest.
War pig. That's two.
Yeah, I got you. War pig. Well, he'd been dying to come up and fish Hoover, man. I don't know if there's still a thermocline on. If there is a thermocline right now, we haven't had much rain lately, so we might have a thermocline setting back up on Hoover if not already. But I don't mind a thermocline, so we gotta get back up to Hoover here. I'm having all kinds of issues with my boat, but the kicker motor still works. I should pull the lower unit off of it tonight.
That sounds like a lot of not fun.
The one bolt that holds the shifter linkage in is the one that gives me all the problem.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Buggy, every time somebody goes live on Facebook and YouTube, if I'm on Facebook, there's very few people in there, but then I go over to YouTube and people are over on YouTube. Holy moly.
Up, down,
yo, baby.
That's why I call it the Yo-Yo River. These fish don't know if they're coming or going.
I'm so glad the Tennessee River has dams on it.
That is the dam. That's the dam. Going crazy.
Wow.
They can't tell if they're coming or going. If I could just get 2 or 3 days of consistency, I don't care what the foot level is. I don't care what the flow is. If I can just get 3 days of it, I'll be happy, but I can't. It changes every single day. So I'm going to be out of commission for a bit, going in for surgery and pulling the boat in the shop for service while I'm recovering. Then watch out. It's going to be game on. Kevin, I seen that you had to postpone the event in October, man. I hate to hear that, but you got to take care of yourself. And if you need anything, just let me know, brother. People say that, and they hope that you never call them, but I say it, and I mean it. If you need something, let me know, please. Roger, did Jackie go fishing with you this weekend? I didn't fish at all this weekend. It was Magnus's birthday. We had a poop-themed birthday party. It was the crappiest party I've ever thrown.
Did you remove the poop emoji from behind you?
I shut the door.
Oh, okay.
There was a poop emoji on the door. We had poop emojis everywhere. We had a poop.
Lord.
We had a poop pinata. It was full of crap.
That stinks.
It was a good time, man. We had a lot of fun with it. Jackie made poop cupcakes and poop cake, and it was funny. We had a lot of fun with it. Magnus thinks poop's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I still do too. I'm 51 years old.
It's still funny.
Speaking of, I got a story. Listen.
Oh, here we go.
Funny. When I stopped yesterday to get ice for our bait, I stopped and got three Gatorade Zeros and put them in the boat. Well, I only drank one of them while we were out, so I brought the other two back, and I had them laying on top of the bucket with the cast net in it. So I'm going down the road today, and at some point today, I went out to the boat and I got those other two Powerade Zeros and put them in the truck because I was going somewhere. And I was like, I'll drink one now. So I'm driving down the road and I crack open this Gatorade Zero and I'm drinking. I'm like, that smell. I mean, it smells just like crap. I'm like, and I put it down and I'm like looking in the floorboard to see if I stepped in some dog crap or something. And I take another drink. And I'm like, oh man, I smell it again. And I look down, and right where my nose was, there was fish poop on top of the Gatorade bottle, like right here on the neck. And I'm like, oh man.
I was wondering. I was wondering how that would work out. I see how you guys leave your drinks in with the bait fish, and I was like,
yeah,
that's gotta make
fish poop on it.
That's gotta make it taste funny after a while. Crickets equal moon eye. Man, I know that. And I know that crickets catch. I hate dealing with crickets to catch moon eye. I will if I absolutely have to, but man, to catch them out of the container and then put them on the hook and you put it out there and you got one shot. They touch it one time, it's gone. You don't catch it. You just
I'll steal it off the hook. You got to use them little tiny long shank hooks too, like the real like Aberdeen number 2 or something.
Yeah,
it's called cricket hooks.
Cricket hooks. There you go. Stonefly said crickets are expensive. Yeah, Yeah, Mike Greenwell sent me a picture of what he said they're hitting, and there it is, teeny weeny minnow.
Oh man, that's right. That's like about an inch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's on his shoe.
Yeah, we got a ton of those size threadfin up the dam right now. I mean, there's just a buku of them up there that size.
Oh, air fish for gillies with the crickets. Oh, really?
Yeah,
well,
good.
Bluegill are a little more aggressive. They'll just hit it and take off with it.
Yeah.
Moon eye, they're finicky little fish, man. They're tough to. I'm not good at it. I need to catch more. Maybe I need to pair up with stonefly and go catch some. And
skater hook.
Yeah, there you go.
Now that's talent right there, Buggy. If you can catch 3 on one cricket,
that's tough.
Yeah.
You're using some. I don't know if those are crickets. Those might be like, what are they called? Hissing cockroaches or something.
Yeah. Hey, that's it, JJ. You gotta live it. You gotta live it, man. You gotta smell it. It smell like fish.
You gotta be one with the fish.
Yeah. It smell like a fish.
Well, Bobcat, the spawn has came and it has gone. I say for most parts
out of here, man.
I'd say most parts of the country it is done and over with. The catfish are, in my opinion, the catfish are out and hungry. These males,
skinny.
And skinny. You'll see a lot of pictures. Actually, I thought it'd be easy to find some skinny pictures for y'all, but I really didn't. But the hang on a second here. I'm trying to figure out what I did with my pictures. Oh, there it is.
I had a 40-pounder try to whip me last night.
Oh yeah.
I'll share this little 8-second long video clip.
Go ahead. I'm trying to. I don't know what's going on with my thingy here, but
share screen. How do I do this? Window, downloads.
More big. The Bigfoot Festival this weekend in Benton County. I'm going out onto the property to do tree knocks and mess with all the squatters. Ended up about 4 feet deep. Let me, hey, Wesley Smith, what's going on? I'll cancel that real quick and get back over here. He's trying to manhandle you. You're muted somehow.
Yeah, I muted myself. Can you hear me now?
I got you, buddy. Yeah, that fish looked like he was trying to manhandle you.
He was angry. All the fish we caught last night were like that. I mean, I guess because they're trying to eat. We're trying to put a hook in them. I mean, I understand that.
Following weekend, how about Hoover Raj? You talk about the weekend after this coming up? I'm game. I'm in like Flint. You just tell me. Tell me which day you want to go. I'll be there. So Bobcat, now that the fish have stopped spawning, the males have moved off the banks. They're out and they are hungry, right? They haven't ate much. That's why you got all these long, skinny fish. You got fish all marked up real bad. You could tell that they've been, on the nest and making beds. Now here you see a picture of big old flathead just completely tore up, sores all over him. And this is telltale sign that this fish has been spawning. He made him a beautiful home for a lovely lady to come drop her eggs off. But once his duties are done and then fry take off, he's got to get bulked back up. All right. He can't keep himself weak and susceptible to to other fish and prey. He's got to bulk back up. So what are your go-to tactics, go-to areas for targeting these fish, and where do you find the most success targeting fish after spawn?
Well, I've said it all along, and of course, I love bumping.
Right.
I believe that the dam is like the perfect place for these fish to go after they come off the beds and spawning, but for a couple of reasons. Easy access to food, slightly cooler, highly oxygenated water. Well, these fish they're stressed, they're hungry, and they're trying to recuperate. I mean, they've had a month without eating. They've been fighting. They've been guarding eggs on the nest, and so that if they're within swimming distance of the dams, I believe they're going to go upstream looking for that cooler, highly oxygenated water with easy access to food. Those turbines come on, they suck shad and gizzard shad, threadfin shad, they suck bait through it, chops it up. All they got to do is sit there and just enjoy the buffet. So that's why I love this time of year. Post spawn, those fish are looking to recover in the hospital. Buffet in the hospital. That's all they need. So that's my theory. The fish are on the move.
I agree with you. So these fish are, like I said, trying to bulk up, but they don't have the body mass. They don't have the body mass and energy like they did prior to spawn. So they've got to go for easy meals, and they've got to get as much food as they can get with as little effort as possible.
Yep.
And their best opportunity for that is high current, where they can set up and ambush fish as they come by. Obviously, the dam has most current. It also typically holds the majority of the bait. All of us that go catch bait, we know that the dams and spillways and anywhere where there's highly oxygenated water is going to hold a lot of bait. And so these places are where these fish, I believe, will go to first if they're within, distance without having to wear themselves out. Now, if they're not within distance, I still feel like they will hunt deep channel ledges. They will hunt in, they'll get themselves in some like log jams and structure where bait fish will congregate, and they're going to position themselves where they can, ambush and forage the most they can with the least amount of energy. We forgot.
You really got two things going on too, besides just this being post spawn. We're in August now. Winter is just around the corner.
Yep.
These big fish, the big fish that we're hunting, they have to continue to feed throughout the winter. But they're looking, these 20, 30 pounders, they really need to get some weight on them before winter. So they're feeding up, recovering from spawning, and they're also trying to bulk up, like you said, for winter. So, that's another reason post-spawn fishing is just so good.
Yeah. I think the fishing, in my opinion, from this point on, just continues to get better week by week. Ideally, the males particularly. Now, in my opinion, the females, they never really stop eating. All right. Their job is to grow eggs. They go and they hunt down the best habitat for them to drop their eggs. And they drop their eggs and they're back out of there. They're gone. Yep. And they've not, in my opinion, the females really aren't that affected by the spawn. They don't drop a lot of weight. They don't have to hang out on the nest. So their catchability has not gone down much, if any, the entire spawn. That's why, I hear a lot of guys say, oh man, fishing's tough. I couldn't catch anything to spawn. Ideally only 50% of the fish are affected. The females are all out. They're still going to eat.
Yep.
Your males are the ones that got affected, the most dramatic. But now here we are. They're done, and they should be putting on the feed bags. And this is a great opportunity to set yourself up. They'll spawn in the backs of like creeks. They'll spawn in the backs of, coves and things like that, shallow areas. And and they'll move out. Like if you're in a lake situation, like Tennessee River, right? It's a lake system that is dammed up, and you have all the lakes formed off of the river. Well, once they come out of their shallow areas that they were spawning in, you got to remember the majority of the fish spawn in less than 8 feet of water.
Yeah,
that's why noodling is such a thing during the spawn, right? So they'll lay eggs, they'll spawn up and get in coves and undercuts and everything else in 3, 4, 5 foot of water. What's up, Double Hook Angling? Thanks for stopping in. The Shizzle's in the house.
David. He said he needs bait.
We all do.
That's something cool.
I was actually going to take a bluegill trip today and try to go load up on bluegill, but I got an alarm going off. I think I need to change the water pump. I just changed it 5 years ago.
Yeah, really? I mean, that should be sufficient.
I mean, come on, man. So I'm going to try to get.
Hey, we see you, Wesley Smith. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Wes. Appreciate you, bud. My bait tank's empty outside, so I need to get stocked back up on bluegills. I wiped them all out.
Yeah,
but
I just go down the river and get those. That's my bait tank.
Go down the river and get them.
Yeah.
Question: you see these noodlers doing their thing. A lot of time you see another one of those fish move out of the holes as they're pulling one out. More than one fish in a bed. Not generally. You'll see fish with bite marks all over them. Actually, Bobcat and I were talking about this. Somebody had asked him about it. They will fight tooth and nail. If for a good spot, because honestly, it's whoever has the best house, whoever can build the best home, is who's going to get the choice.
Do the deed
on the females. And so if you pull a male fish out of his hole, there's a good chance if there's another male there, he's moving in quick and he's going to take it. And they will fight over it until whichever one wins. And you'll actually see fish during the spawn or right after spawn with heel marks on them where they've been bit by other.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
But a lot worse.
A lot worse. That's
that was
right.
Through a glove. That was through a glove last
That's
time.
because you catch all them big ones.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. They feel the tooth pad of a catfish, and they feel the Velcro type feel to it. What they don't understand is that their gums are pushed up to about the top of it. When they clamp down on something, that gum pushes down, and that tooth protrudes out, and it's a pretty nasty tooth. I've got some pictures of catfish skulls or skeletons where the gums are decayed and gone, and you can see just how big their tooth pad really is. And they got some teeth.
I swear, I think when they're spawning, those tooth pads, those teeth get longer or more aggressive. It feels like it. Anyway.
Oh, you see another one swimming away. I have watched Hannah a lot just because I like her and her daddy. I think they're down to earth. I have seen them trying to debunk some myths about fish dying or not going back to their nest, because they actually tagged a bunch of fish and went back and caught the same fish on the same nest with their tag on it. And hey, Eric, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I'm all good for now. All good. So yeah, as far as another fish swimming away, when they pull one out, that could have been the female that was there tending or expecting to lay eggs. I don't think I know enough really about all of their spawn habits and different species between blue cat and flathead. A flathead's very territorial. They just about won't. You can't run them off like you can a channel cat and a blue cat. They stand their ground to the very end.
What's up, Danny?
What's up?
He's a Chattanooga local.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel left out, man. I need
to.
To.
You didn't move, Roger. Back up, and move down here, man. You didn't move south. Our winters are a lot more nicer. You're winning.
I've always said
Our vehicles don't rust out. It's great.
Rogersville always sounded like a good place for me to be.
Yep.
So
the Benoit girls are in the house.
So besides the dam, you know, and obviously bumping at the dam if you got flow. If you're like us on the Ohio River, we generally don't have enough flow to bump. You know, finding those situations where you could set up and anchor fish at the dam. Now, if you're not at the dam and you still have an opportunity, in my opinion, your best bet is to be on the move. Cover as much ground as you possibly can, unless you've happened to find a big structure, there you go. There you go, buddy. If you happen to find like a current seam or a large brush pile or things like that where fish seem to be holding up, there's nothing wrong with Zach and I do this all the time. We'll be suspend drifting down through there. We'll come into an area that marks a lot of fish. We'll just spot lock it. We'll just hold tight there for a minute.
Yep.
Even using the live scope here recently, we'll see fish coming up and checking out the baits. And if they just aren't hitting real aggressive, and a couple of weeks ago, they've just been real finicky. We'll spot lock it and give them a few more seconds to decide whether they want that bait or not. Sometimes that's more beneficial. Sometimes just rolling through and letting them do instinctive strike is better. We've had 75-degree weather in August. Yeah, I know. I loved it.
I think 205. Are you in Georgia or Alabama? I think you might be in Alabama. I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Could be wrong.
I remember some of y'all, but I can't remember everybody.
Yeah. Another good place to hunt post-spawn fish, creek mouth openings. You know, fish coming out of creeks from spawning, a little bit, possibly a little cooler water, rainwater pouring into the creek. Again, higher oxygen level in that water, possibly food, a source of food.
Yeah, Paint Creek Spillway is one of my absolute favorite places to go catch shad. I mean, I don't know how many times I've gone down there and one throw, and you are more than enough.
Right.
Just load up one and done, go.
Yep. Yeah, he says he's in Alabama. I knew it was one of them. Bobber fishing. Yeah, there you go.
I got to be honest.
Some guys catching them down there.
I've been doing really well on James Smith's ghost floats. I was spin drifting downriver, and I will suspend one under that ghost float and run it way out ahead of the boat, and it gets to the fish before we ever get there. And that float sometimes, man, it's the real deal. It'll catch a lot of fish. We'll even run in planer boards. We'll suspend bait under our planer boards and run planer boards out, and we'll suspend bait underneath the boat. We'll have 6 to 8 rods out suspended. Can you do
Eric,
that?
I think he's talking about fishing those bobbers from the bank.
Yeah, you can fish the bobbers from the bank. The Paint Creek Spillway, that's from the bank. That's an easy one. You roll right up there. I go right up to where the water comes out. That's where I throw.
Yeah.
Tired of losing weights and hooks.
But if you're gonna fish as a dam, you're just gonna have to get used to losing weights and hooks.
You might be in the wrong sport.
Yeah.
But there are ways to keep it from because like at the Paint Creek Spillway, it's so rocky. If you let your bait sit down on the bottom, you're probably hung up. And it's just because talking about Paint Creek. Yeah, Paint Creek Spillway is from the bank. You actually park in the parking lot and you got to walk. It's actually a good little hike back to where the water's coming out, but it's paved, sidewalk all the way back through there. It's nice. Paint Creek holds a lot of nice flatheads. They'll move all the way up there. I've caught 20-some pound flatheads throwing my cast net trying to get shad.
Yep. Let's see. I'll show a picture here in a minute, but that's something we need to talk about. These post-spawn fish. Just how big of a bait will these hungry blues eat?
in my opinion.
It's just how big.
And this is just my opinion. I feel like there is no such thing as too big a bait right now. These fish want to
share
bulk
this
up.
picture.
They want to eat, and they want to eat a lot. And if they can eat a lot in big quantities, big bait, I think they'll take that opportunity, in my opinion.
I'll agree with that. I want to show you last night. I weighed this head. Let's see, where's my downloads folder at?
Bobcat says I'm done spawning too.
Goodness. That's right. I'm done. That's what my wife told me.
No more kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Same here. We're not having any more kids. We got all we need. We'll let the grandbabies start coming. I have all kinds of fun with them. Big live bait and timber. Yeah, it's hard not to beat big live bait and timber. Obviously, you setting yourself up for lost tackle and all that, depending on how you run it. But that's why I wanted to go stock up on a bunch of bluegill. So when we're ready to roll, I can just scoop them out of my tank and go.
There we go.
It's an hour to 2 hours to the closest water for me, depending on where I go.
Here we go, Roger.
What we got?
I want you to look at the size compared to the fish that ate it. The head on catfish is almost as big. I weighed that head, and it weighed 3/4 of a pound. That's a big spotted bass head. When I put that on there, it was kind of a joke between me and Ryan. It was like I put that head in the cooler at the beginning of the trip, and I said, and that's spotted bass. And I said, I'm gonna put this head in the cooler in case we get visited by Mr. Green Jeans, so I could prove that it was a spotted bass and not a largemouth or another species.
Yeah.
At the end of the trip, I said, hey, Brent, Ryan, I still got this big head in here. I'm going to put this on and just to see if anything will attack it. And I swear it wasn't 15 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes after I started bumping that. It was so hard bumping that. It was like I was pulling a pie plate off the bottom of the river. That thing had so much drag on it. I was like, and then something hit it, and we both just lost it and said, "There's no way," but it did.
Yeah, it's unreal the size of bait. I've got pictures of piles somewhere of huge bait or fish that we've caught that have spit up humongous fish that they had eaten already, and it's unbelievable what they'll eat. Kevin says all his were on giant bait, trying to eat. Even the fish were trying to eat bigger than their heads.
Yep, it's amazing to what they'll eat.
Well,
yeah, I know where Yap Yankee is, Danny. I grew up in Saudi Daisy, went to high school there, so I know exactly where it is. I remember when that bridge was still an old wooden bridge. Now there's a modern concrete bridge there. As a matter of fact, part of the old wooden structure is still laying on the bottom there at Yap Yankee. So I know exactly where it's at.
Big old creek chubs. I love big old creek chubs. There, all the places I used to catch them, right, I don't have access to anymore. But yeah. But
yeah, it's kind of a joke putting that head on it. I can't believe we got a fish on it. One of the smaller fish of the night. Actually, that was funny.
I remember Chris Souders just put a video out a week or so ago of the size of bait. The bait was it was about half the size of the fish that ate it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and like I said, I feel a lot of that has to do with how they're wanting to feed up right now. They're wanting to get as much food as they can in their belly, but they want to use the least amount of energy as they can. They can't gain weight if they're chasing down everything.
That is true. That is true. And that's and you'll find them this time of year, depending on how long they've been on that nest and been without food. You'll find these big old males with these ginormous wide heads and these emaciated looking long bodies behind them. It's kind of comical, really, when you find them, when you see these fish and they got these big old wide heads on them, and then these little little bodies like
They look
almost
like
like
they look like they
tadpoles.
come out of a pay lake.
Yeah, they do kind of like pay lake fishes, all burn up and skin
Yeah.
up and skinny,
Hey,
rough
Don
looking.
Knight,
But
what's up, bud?
that's just proof as to how tough those fish and how resilient they really are.
Yeah, they'll,
So
that you hear and see about like during this rut for whitetail bucks. There are bucks that will literally run themselves to death.
Yeah.
To have the opportunity to breed and pass on genetics.
Yep.
And
Pass on their genes is all they're looking to do. That's their one goal in life, is to eat and make babies.
I remember way back in the day, I did the same thing. I'd run myself to death trying to keep up with about ready to kill myself.
Yeah, we all been there.
These fish do the same thing. They'll push themselves to the limit and beyond at times to try to reproduce. And what's going on in Kentucky? Trying to remove fish sling. What's going on in Kentucky? Trying to remove fish length limits. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything concrete. I've seen a lot of allegations and a lot of talk back and forth. I haven't seen where anything's actually gone into serious stages. I got to be completely honest with you. Nothing surprises me out of Kentucky. I don't know what's going on that side of the river. But it's like the Wild West over there, man. It's like anything goes. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how they run things and who's in charge and why there's no checks and balances. But it doesn't look good for the river. I can tell you that. But I won't get too bent out of shape until things really start looking like, they're going to make a big effect. I did hear that they're supposed to be settling on reciprocating laws between Ohio and Kentucky. But as of right now, there are no reciprocating laws, meaning like it used to be, if you're on the Ohio River and you have an Ohio license and the river borders Kentucky, they honor Kentucky's laws and regulations on the river, meaning Kentucky has an unlimited rod limit and Ohio has a 3-rod limit. With an Ohio license, you could still use Kentucky's license or Kentucky's rules and regulations. Now they don't do that. In order to use Kentucky's laws and regulations, you have to buy a Kentucky license as well.
Oh.
But which I always did, because I'm always so far in and up and down there. We always have, I think I end up with 5 or 6 different state licenses every year. Just places I go and places I fish. Yeah. But I don't know for sure, but I think they said that they worked back out a reciprocating law agreement to where it'll remain the way it always was. But there's no guarantee that'll go through either.
Hey, that's bait 205.
Well, it depends. So I got to be honest, Bobcat. After you made your white bass video, Zach and I were going out the next day, and white bass has been the ticket for fish for like a week or two here on the river. If you got white bass, you're in good shape. And our white bass, man, we can just tear them up like you guys can.
They're not always that good, though. I mean, they're not always on fire. But I have a theory. This year has been a slow year for skipjack, so I think like the white bass have really stepped their game up to speed up. And so I think since we've had a hard year with skipjack, the white bass have been really eating good. That's my theory. That's just
you also got the fish noticing that there are less skipjack and more white bass, and that becomes a bigger part of their diet now.
Yeah.
So the white bass has continued to get more popular with the fish because it's been a more prominent food source as the skipjack numbers or their locations have been taking a hit.
Yeah.
Take the grandson down in the morning for his first blue, we hope. Well, Don Knight, I'll be excited to hear how that goes, man. Where are you guys going to?
Man, take a video. Yeah, take some video and share it out, buddy.
Hammered the crappie on Hoover this weekend. They make great bait. Oh, my God. I want to go to Hoover and catch crappie. Here's my problem. Every time I go to Hoover, when there's 50 and 60-pound catfish in there, I have a hard time fishing for crappie.
There's always been skipjack in the Tennessee River. They just haven't always been sought after like they are now as much. They've always been there, though. They're native to our Tennessee River. Well, I mean, they're actually kind of a saltwater fish that's migratory, right?
Yep.
So,
they are landlocked freshwater fish now. They're not coming in from saltwater now. You do have those. Those are hickory shad up on the
hickory shad. Well, American shad too.
Mm-hmm. No, those are two different ones. Meladol.
Oh, okay.
I got you, buddy. Meladol. You going to Meladol Dam? Down there by J-Dog? I guess they stay up more by the dam and rougher water.
No, you can find them around Harrison Bay in the wintertime, around the rocks. A lot of the bass guys 2 years ago that I go to church with were telling me they were catching them left and right on the lake, around docks. I mean, they're not just in moving water. That's where you can find concentrations of them more. But they've been catching a lot of them in the backwaters, same waters that the bass are being caught in.
Yeah, we catch them in backs of creeks. Anywhere you follow the shad, you follow the bait fish. If they're eating threadfin or gizzard shad, you find, and honestly, that kind of goes for anything really. But you follow the bait, you find the bait, you'll find the fish. They're gonna follow that and pick them off at will. I heard they make. Yeah, I like to catch the white bass and the crappie and fillet them, and eat the fillets and use their heads for bait.
Yep, that's exactly what I did. I saved all those heads and I actually vacuum seal them.
That's exactly.
I mean, the head's always my favorite piece of bait for bumping, anyways. You know, I mean, like, so that's perfect. We caught our limit, and I gave a couple at church about 3 bags of fillets. I kept a few myself, and then I saved all the heads and froze them and used them for bumping.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, after your video and the catch, cook, and clean, or clean and cook, I did the same thing. I kept some white bass. I was like, I don't even know if I've ever ate white bass. And so when we caught a few extra to take home. I think I took home 5. And I cleaned them all out and fried them up. I think we had one small cat. I hardly ever catch a catfish under 5 pounds. Most likely, due to the size of the bait and hooks and everything I use. But I did catch one that was like 4 pounds, 3 pounds, something like that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat one catfish. I haven't ate a catfish out of the river in I don't know how long. So we had some white bass and catfish, and it was pretty good. I saved all the heads for bait, vacuum sealed them all, and they're ready to go.
Yep. As long as you cut that red meat out of them, they're good to go. They're fine eating fish.
Yeah. Uncle Lou just said the same thing. Get that red meat out of them, and
like I said in my video, I like to leave just a layer like that much meat on that skin, just float that knife, so you leave most of that muscle meat on the skin, and you don't even have to do much to get it off of there. My mouse is acting up, so I can't highlight any comments. Feel free to do that.
I was reading Kevin's here. He said the small ones that are starting to jump around early in the mornings anywhere there's causing a current seam. When I kept some to eat the other day, I kept 5 of the smaller ones just to keep the cleaning and the cutting of the red meat down. Get that white bass, put lemon seasoning and butter, and then wrap it in foil. Cook it on the grill or fire hobo style. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Benoit's, they're always cooking up fish. They said they just did a video for some gill tacos and homemade slaw with pico. Nice. Be sure to check that out. What's up, Josh? Josh Parham's in the house. Trying to think. Now, do you feel that the fish post spawn are deeper? So we're take the dam out of the equation. Let's talk about main river. Miles down river. Do you feel that these fish set up in deeper water, or do you feel
I think so. I think so. I think, like you said, alluded to earlier, I think they're going to follow their bait fish, and I'd say that deeper water is going to be a little bit cooler, and the water temperature right here on Tennessee River right now are 86 degrees. I mean, it's hot.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's the time to target those deep pools, like in our case down in the gorge, those 100-foot holes. I think deep ledges, and I think if you're targeting these post-spawn fish, I think you're going to do some scanning and see where the bait is hanging. If you see bait hanging in 35 feet of water, look for catfish in 35 feet of water. If you see bait in 50 foot of water, you're going to find catfish in 50 foot of water. So I always pay attention. I'm not real good about, I don't know if it's my electronics or not, but I'm not real good at picking out what I'd say catfish, like, oh, there's a fish. But I can see a bait ball. Anybody can see a bait ball on a decent set of electronics. So I think, looking for those bait balls, see where that bait's holding at, and that's where your catfish are going to be, because they want to eat.
Yeah. Depending on the situation, I can spot my catfish. Obviously not always. Hey, welcome in, Pontoon Jody, since you're driving and listening. Be careful. Generally, a lot of times I can pick the fish out more so on side scan than 2D. 2D, I can usually get a pretty good idea. You'd be surprised how many fish you go over that you think are just humps or bumps on the bottom that really are fish. But the bait balls, they're pretty easy to distinguish either on side scan or on 2D down imaging or regular down imaging.
Yep. Yeah, it won't be long. We'll be heading down in the gorge searching for them on the deep ledges and doing some suspending if we can stay out of the grass down there.
Well, if your main river like ours is here, if you're looking at 85 degrees, your shallow water and shallow coves and stuff, it's even warmer, and that's generally not comfortable for the fish. That's just too hot for them. Generally. So like blue cats, they'll normally leave a spawning area when I think it's up to 75 degrees. They want it 75 degrees or cooler. That's when they typically spawn. When it gets over 75, that's when they want to get out of there. Channel cats will hang in there up to 85 degrees. They can stay longer in them backs of the creeks and coves and things like that. And that's when you'll find these fish will come out to the main channel edge or points out of those coves and things and hang out there because it's just gets too hot back in the shallow.
Yeah. This time of year we'll catch a lot of channel cats in the shallows for sure, rather than blues and flatheads, because they can tolerate that heat a little better than the blues and flats can. Dave said he's got his Helix 5 tuned in.
Now he's dangerous without electronics.
Yeah,
he gets some electronics on there. He'll be raising all kinds of cane. Them fish don't know what to do. They can't run or hide now.
That's right. Yeah, I got a Helix 8 and a Helix 9, and I love both of my units. They're great. They've got their issues, but I still haven't figured out the networking thing.
So my biggest issue with Humminbird is they're just finicky, man.
Yeah,
they're very, like the other day I run a Solix 15. All right, and don't ask me how I ended up with one of those, because that's it's like I never thought I'd get one like that, but I got one. And the other day the side scan, hey, Mama's in the house. Welcome in, Mom. She's
come in, Roger, Mom.
I ran in. Well, I didn't actually run into her. We just both happened to be at the hospital yesterday at the same time on different ends of the hospital. I was getting a procedure done, and she was getting a procedure done. And hers took way longer than mine, so I didn't end up seeing her. But But yes, my side scan last weekend, last Tuesday during the show, just froze. Just stop. You know what I mean? You know, if you touch it, you're stop and put, I'm his hummingbird. My mom loves hummingbirds. That's who she's. It's a different type of hummingbird, Mom. I don't have a 15-inch hummingbird for you. That'd be a big hummingbird. But yeah, I even turned it off and turned it back on, and it was still froze. I had to disconnect the power and plug the power cord back in to get it to go.
I have to do that to mine frequently.
It's
it'll lock up.
Little finicky, weird crap like that. It makes me so frustrated with them because everything else about them I feel is really good. The learning curve, in my opinion, on hummingbird is the steepest. I think they are the hardest to learn. I think they are. I think they have more fine-tuning ability, but the majority of us aren't that good at it. I'm not that good at it.
I think the imagery is better on my hummingbird, but I think as like right out of the box, my Garmin 93 SV that I had was like, I never had to tweak it. It was always just on. I never had any problem with it locking up or anything like that.
My Garmin's, I've got 2 of the 93s, and I like them both. Yeah. Like you said, right out of the box, their auto features are very smart. They're very good. A lot of their features you can leave to auto, and it'll do just what you need. You still can fine tune them, but I think Garmin is great for dummies, which is why I had them.
Yeah, Uncle Lou, I have all mine are updated. I've updated everything on my boat: the trolling motor, both birds, and that. Maybe that's the problem. My old units don't like new software.
I'm actually terrible about updating anything. I got to be completely honest. I know it's a bad deal, and I know better, and I should do better, but I'm terrible about running updates on my systems. But yeah.
Hello, Mr. Squirrel.
Squirrel's in the house. What's up, buddy? Here's a feature about Garmin that I cannot believe Humminbird and Lowrance and everyone else hasn't followed suit with, and that is the auto scroll speed.
Yeah.
Scroll speed makes a huge difference on your images. If you're not matching your scroll speed to your boat speed, you're doing yourself a huge injustice. The slower you go, the faster you go has a huge impact. If you don't match your scroll speed to your actual speed, your images are going to change. If you're used to seeing things a certain way, but you change your speed, and now everything's going to look completely different if you don't change it. Garmin automatically speeds up and slows down based on GPS. Now, how hard is that to do? That is not. That's like
you think that would be.
I have my Helix 12 G2 since new and never locked up. Interesting. I can tell you that Zach has had, he had a 10, a 12, and an 8. He's got a 15 now, and he's still every now and then locks up and has issues. And I've got
sometimes I have to go up and unplug the power to my network hub, like to get everything back to normal. Sometimes the network, I had to take that thing out of the bow and put it somewhere where I could get to the power cable, because the network will lose, it'll lose bits and pieces of, it'll lose the trolling motor. So I have to unplug the power and reboot the router, which is wacky.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I do need to do the updates, and I can't really complain about it if I haven't done my part yet. So thanks. Randy says hit the thumbs up if you guys haven't done so on both channels. Don't forget to hop on one and the other, depending on where you're at. We both appreciate you. I have a 93 UHD EchoMac Garmin, John Boy. Yeah, I've got a UHD. I don't have the new UHD 2. So stop buying Monday.
That's the secret right there.
Yeah. Monday.
I'm not sure the Friday units are going to be any better, Uncle Lou. I mean, they're ready to get out of there by Friday, so I'm not sure that. Maybe buy one built on Wednesday.
And I got to be honest, the reason I went with Solix, I know it's a little more expensive, is because I'm so used to my Garmin is all touchscreen, right? And to go from Garmin to Humminbird has a lot of buttons. There's a lot of menus and a lot of ways to get to stuff. So a Solix being touchscreen was made an easier transition for me to go from Garmin to Humminbird because I'm so used to touchscreen. I watch Zach. He has to hit 1,000,000 buttons sometimes to complete a task, and he's so good at it and quick at it. It's nothing to him. It's it's just like breathing. He just does it. Yeah. But to me, to go from just touch this, pinch, zoom, do all this weird stuff to what he's doing, I was like, yeah, that's a lot. So I went with the solo.
I was when I got this new boat with those birds on it, I was touching the screen and it was doing no. I was like, crap. I'm touching the Humminbird screen.
What's up, River Rat?
I broke that habit now. I'm like Zach. I'm using both thumbs and popping and
up, down, left, right, BA, start, something,
Yeah, I'm playing my Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult going from one to the other like that.
Yeah, that's another thing, David. Great comment. Read what the update does before you update. So I've actually seen, I think it was on Humminbird, it said that if you updated, I think it's the system I got now, it caused where you couldn't, there was an issue where once you updated it, you couldn't go back and link in something. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that's why I didn't update mine originally, because I was afraid I would need that feature later down the road. And if I update it, I lose it. So I'm not 100% sure what the feature was, but that's a great comment.
Yeah, if it fixed the problem I'm having, I'm more likely to update. And I haven't seen any of the updates that said, like one of my units will lock up completely, and the one that I've got mounted on the stern, it'll lose the network connection and just like go to a random screen. And I'm like, what the? They should got to reach over there and hit a button, and it's frustrating.
Hey, there you go. Uncle Lou says he prefers his 106 SBs. So I'll tell you right now in Garmin, if you go from a 9-inch screen to a 10-inch screen, the clarity is so much different, so much clearer. It's unreal because the pixels per square inch from a 9 to a 10 is almost double. It's that much sharper.
Wow.
If you go from a 10 to a 12, it's actually the same pixels per square inch, but because it's 12-inch screen instead of a 10, it's actually less clear than the 10. I mean, you can see it better because it's a 12 and there's more surface area to look at. But as far as actual crispness, your 10 holds the highest.
Yeah.
See, there's Mark Catfish Crappy says he's got the Garmin UHD 2. There's so many things buried. I feel like I haven't scratched the surface yet. Yeah, the new UHD 2s are pretty slick. If I ever had to go away from my my bird, which I still got Garmin on my boat, I still keep one up for mapping and stuff. I've got a Humminbird 9 at the front of the boat. I got a 12 or a 15 at the helm and a 9 Garmin at the helm. And I'm getting ready to put another 9 at the back of the boat for bumping and suspend drifting.
Nice. You don't have one at the back of your boat? Man.
Never have. I told myself for a long time I would, but I just never have.
I love being able to, when you're dragging baits or bumping, be able to look back there and see my speed and see the map and where I'm at.
Well, and
you
you're
guys think I have problems. Yeah.
And making sure you're going
myself.
There you go. Shoot, I have to have the kids help me at times.
Yeah. I had to have Anna find something on my phone today.
Really?
I handed her my phone. Here, find this. Yeah. I'm still hung up on that white bass for bait. Is that in Ohio law? They are not legal in Kentucky. Yeah. I'm in Tennessee, and we can use white bass for bait.
Yeah, we can
as long as it's harvested legally.
Yep, you have to harvest it. It has to meet the size and creel limits, which I don't believe there is a size limit on the white bass on the Ohio River.
No.
As far as Kentucky goes, I'm not 100% sure.
there's no size limit in Tennessee, but you can only have 15
15,
per
yeah.
person in your possession.
I remember watching you live
with
one
white
night.
bass, that can happen pretty quickly with white bass.
I remember one live you were doing catching white bass at the dam.
Yeah.
And you were like going over the limit. And so I was like, hey, you supposed to stop at 15.
Oh.
You're like, what?
What? Yeah, I
remember.
I was live and I had to stop and count. Like, I need to go get somebody else in the boat.
Let's see. Yeah, it's crazy how they have the different laws for each side of the river. But that's how it is. And saying I don't know or I didn't know won't get you anywhere. Trust me. It's your job to know.
So is it like right down the middle of the river?
No, the line is actually like 2/3. Most of the river, it's 2/3 to 3/4 of the way on the Ohio side is Kentucky. More of the river is Kentucky than Ohio.
Yeah. Huh.
And legally, you're supposed to know where that line is, and if you go over that line, you've got to be maintaining Kentucky's license and rules. Well, if you use their rules, you got to have the license.
You just need to have both licenses, really. I mean, it's a safe way, right?
What's that?
To be safe. I said, really, to be safe, it'd be smart to just have both licenses, Ohio and Kentucky.
So that's what I do because I just don't want to have to sit and think about it, worry about it. You know what I mean? I know what's legal, what pertains to me. Yeah, there you go. 30 white bass per person, no size limit. I didn't think there was a size limit. I knew that there would probably be a creel limit. But yeah, 30 per person, which we're never going to have that many on the boat especially, for bait. But I was using.
I actually hate cutting them things up for bait, man. Oh, they're like weapons. It's like you soft. Even when you get down to the bone, it's like their bone is harder than other fish. I hate them.
Everything pokes you and wants to cut you on those things.
Yeah, it's like you got to have a good, sharp, serrated knife just to cut through their scales. Their scales are like armor.
Bubba blade, man. I think they discontinued the knife I love the most, which had an offset handle.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I think they discontinued. I think it's gone, and it sucks because
it was down a rabbit hole.
Huh?
I said we went down a rabbit hole, didn't we?
Yeah. Next week we probably ought to talk about post spawn.
That's in the past. Oh my!
Well, we're talking about bait and size of bait, and that kind of spiraled into different types of bait. What we've been using recently has been white bass. We fillet the sides off and then cut strips, and so it'd be like a long strip, and it just kind of flies through the water.
I never thought about doing that.
Yeah, the long fillets, and we get a big fillet off of it like this, and we'd cut 2 or 3 strips out of it, and hook it. Even if I hook 2 strips, I'll hook the scale side to scale side, and put two flaps back here just to double my scent.
Yeah, that's not bad. So you fillet it off a fillet, and then you take it and put it on the cutting board with the skin side up or down to cut it in strips.
Skin side down. Okay. And I'll cut it in strips, and then sometimes if it's a thick enough white bass, one strip's pretty thick and it's not bad. Yeah. But if there's coming some of the smaller ones, I'll hook 2 strips, and I'll hook the scale side to scale side and run the hook through. I just feel like I don't know. It might be just my head, but I just want to get as much scent and oil released into the water as fish will find it quicker and faster and hit it. Now it does.
White bass are not a. Go ahead.
I was going to say the downside to that is it washes out fast in 85-degree water. So you need to freshen your bait up constantly, because this warm water, just like when washing grease off your hands, you don't do it with cold water. You do it with warm water to cut the grease.
True.
Well, it's going to disperse that oil and your bait much quicker in warm water. So you want to refresh your bait.
White bass and bluegill, either one, are not a particularly oily fish. So, they're not going to, once the blood's washed out of them, there's not much left to put scent out.
Mm-hmm.
We change out our baits when we're fishing with bluegill or white bass in the summer quite frequently because of that. I've been thinking about, I don't know, I know you got some kind of stuff you were talking about, scent. Like, I've been thinking about, especially in the summer, taking like a hypodermic needle with some kind of fish oil in it and injecting the chunks of bait, just
go to Monster Cat Catfishing. He sells this stuff called hog juice. I don't know the specific ratio of blends, but it's got like lots of different fish oils in it. And it comes with a syringe and a needle. And that's exactly what you do. You draw it up out of the bottle. You inject like what is it? That old injector for meat and stuff.
Oh, Tony Satchery's, the turkey injector stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I have never used eel in Ohio, and not for any good reason. I know that we have eel in Ohio. I know you can find eel in Ohio. I know I could go to a bait store and get eel in Ohio, but I have never used it, and there's no good reason why. I want to. I just never have.
You can cut them suckers up, and they'll keep wriggling for hours.
I know.
I might attract fish. So. And then when you get ready to take it off your hook, you got to cut it off the hook. The skin's so tough. It's like leather.
I've seen, especially in Potomac, you see a lot of those guys up there using eel and stuff, and it's very effective. I can't imagine it being much different here. I think I've used it once. Yeah. Somebody had a frozen one or something, but I've never had like a fresh live one that I could put out and give any feedback on. But I'd like
the only time I've ever used it is in North Carolina when I went fishing with my stepdad down there. Mad Cats actually has a bait tank right next to the door, and they sell live eels. Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do or not, but you go in there and buy eels. And yeah, I remember cutting them things up, and like that eel, that little chunk of eel was out there in the water probably for an hour, and I reeled it in, and it was still wriggling like a section. I was like, what? Get out of here.
There you go, Benoit and Catch Fish with Us. Chris both said that they use eel up on Lake Erie. And catch them from Lake Erie.
Wow.
I've never caught any. The only way I even know to catch them was like in the back of like creeks, and the way my buddy said he did it, they take a pitchfork and just sling leaves, big piles of leaves, and sling them up on the bank, and the eels will just start taking off. You just grab them. I don't know if that's a real way to catch them or not. I know a lot of guys use traps.
I think you put them in a basket.
You used to use dip baits on the water and instantly hook up on eels from shore. Well, I don't know the first thing about catching eels, apparently.
It's not. Me either.
I don't
know how it would do here in Tennessee since they're not native. Catfish probably still eat them.
Are you sure they're not native anywhere? Because we got them here. I would imagine they're freshwater.
We have lampreys.
I've caught those in my minnow trap. I remember the first one I caught, I was like 15 years old. I thought I caught an alien, man. I pulled that thing out of the minnow trap, and I was like, what in the world is that? There you go.
Randy said he has eels in West Tennessee. Okay. I've never seen one. I've never caught one. So.
I know we have them here. I know the guys have caught them and used them, but I just never have.
I used to have one in the fish tank at home, and it got escaped and died.
Yeah, my dad did that once. He got some kind. My dad had a big fish tank. Always had a big fish tank. I don't know what he got, but it got out of the tank, and it was a type of eel. It got out of the tank overnight and was found dried up on the floor the next morning.
Yeah. Nice.
Tried eel for 2 days without a bite last year.
Did it live for 2 days?
Well, he might have been using a big eel or a couple of eel and cut them up and used them eel for 2 days. But were you catching fish on other baits? That would be the interesting. They latch onto the fish, and we used to yeet them out of the water before they let go.
I caught a snake that way once. He was trying to eat my bluegill on my stringer. That was kind of. I got PTSD about that still. Getting ready to leave with a stringer full of bluegill and pull it up and had a snake on it. Ah!
Yeah, buddy. Well, I just realized we're past 11 or past 11. I was going to say it's 11 after. Past 9 o'clock, and we got the Boar's Nest going live. And I'm going to drop the link for those guys.
Say hi to them boar boys.
Be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to find out how you do on the eel on the hive. So let me know for sure. That was the knife fish. Was it the knife fish? Oh, that's right. It was a knife. I think he had an eel or something get out too, but he had an African clown knife get out of the tank. And matter of fact, I think he put it was half stiff and put it back in the tank, and it came back and survived.
Oh, wow.
African clown knife is my favorite freshwater aquarium fish. I had one. I think it finally got, before I let it go, I think it was up to like 22 inches.
Man.
It was a cool fish, man. But guys, we're going to head on out of here. We appreciate everybody sticking around and hanging. I screamed to death. Aaron Grubb's in the house, man. What's going on around here?
Hey,
man, seems like bluegill heads in the summer and shad in the colder months have been the best producers. The bluegill is one of my favorite this time of year. Honestly, common carp. If I had to pick a bait today, it would be common carp. They are just bloody, oily. It's completely different than a quailback and a sucker and all those other fish. A common carp, the orange, gold common carp, man. Cut one up and put it in a gallon Ziploc bag. I like to let it just sit in its own juice overnight. And cut up any other carp and put it in a bag and hold them up and see which one is bloodier and juicier. I promise you, it's the common carp every time. They are amazing. But
I know they're oily.
They are very oily and bloody. I love common carp this time of year. But yeah, bluegill. That's why I'm wanting to go stock up on some bluegill. I love bluegill this time of year. I just want to go fishing, Bobcat.
I know, man. We got to get out there. I won't probably fish for another week, so I had to get all mine in last night.
Me and Jackie will probably be out this weekend. I don't know where at or how or where and why, but we're going to get out this weekend. We ain't got the kids.
I'll be heading to Kentucky this weekend, moving Caroline. So,
oh boy,
moving her north. Yep, my firstborn, leaving the nest. Man, I've been tore up about that all week now. I finally let it just sink in. You know, it's happening.
Wait till you got grandbabies.
I can wait a little longer on that.
Yeah,
I might look like a grandpa, but I ain't ready to be one.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, head on over to the Boar's Nest. Man. Hey, Bobcat.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'll
pray us out if you don't mind.
Dear Heavenly Father God, I thank you, Lord, for our friend Roger here tonight, and Lord, all these fine people that's gathered in chat to watch this show. Father God, I pray, Lord God, that there be blessings many upon each and every one of them, Lord God. And if there's a need in their life, Lord God, if they just need to know you, Father God, I pray that they would find you, Lord God. I find you that they would find you in a place, Lord God, and lean into your word and lead into your promises, Lord. And I pray, Lord God, that we would all just be able to get along and love one another. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, brother. Guys, head on over to the Boar's Nest. Let them know that Bobcat and Muskrat sent you over and said hi. We'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, everybody.
Y'all be sweet. God bless.